Hey, what's going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary and happy Friday, my friends. As usual, we have yet another amazing guest this morning, a client here who is going to be talking about his experience of going through, learning, launching, leading, and prioritizing serving over selling to grow his audience online. My friends, we send out a text message reminder. It's actually a messenger reminder every morning when we go live. Many of you may be hopping on now because you just got that. If you're not on that, I'm going to go ahead and post the link to add and join that messenger list. It's just a Facebook Messenger notification, little robot, AI chat bot, whatever you want to call it. Is all it does is give you a little reminder at 10 a.m. Eastern time when we go live with a link to go live. Okay, so I'm posting that link to join that right in the chat right now. If you're joining live, go ahead and do that. With that being said, my friends, let's jump into this. Jeremiah Williams, welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, how's it going?
Good to see you, my friend. Where are you calling in from?
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
100+ degrees, humid, everything.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
Says ain't no love in Oklahoma, so you're right about that.
Come on down to Florida, my man. Come on down to Florida. Get you some of that humidity.
I was just down there.
Pensacola?
Pensacola.
Okay, nice. Just a little vacation. You got family there?
Our little vacation. We go there every year.
Okay. Maybe I need to make it up there. I haven't been to Pensacola, man. At least not in a long time. Maybe drove through there on the way to somewhere, but didn't go there to vacation. So, anyways, man, always a new place to explore. That's the beauty of this business, is that we can kind of take our business on the road with us. Remind me when you got started and took our challenge for the first time.
Wow. So I took the challenge May of 2022.
Okay. What was the thing that motivated you to want to get started here in the first place?
So I heard of affiliate marketing. Well, first of all, backstory. So I came online looking for ways to make money online because we're struggling living paycheck to paycheck and stuff, and I didn't want to get a second job, but I knew that I had to do something. My wife was pregnant with our youngest, and bills were stacking up, so I had to figure something out. So I came to the online world, and everything kept pointing back to affiliate marketing, digital marketing. Literally everywhere I went looking, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, it kept leading back to digital marketing, affiliate marketing. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can learn. I need to learn this stuff here. So I tried the YouTube route, much like a lot of people do. Started Googling stuff and started YouTube and stuff, and I thought I had it all figured out. But when I started implementing, there was crickets, there was no sales, nothing was happening. And then I just, so I ended up, just giving up on it. And I ended up giving up on it for a period of time, but then I eventually came back and I ran across this video on YouTube from, I can't remember the gentleman's name, but it was a guy that went through the challenge and stuff, and he was telling me, he was showing his results and stuff on, how how he learned from the challenge and how successful he's been from it. So I typically do not pay for any online trainings. Like I said, like I tell most of my audience, if I can do it myself, I'm going to do it myself. But I tried that route. It didn't work. So you know what? I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take this. So I took the challenge, and I was absolutely blown away by what was in there. It basically unveiled all these secrets that I see a lot of these other marketers out here doing, because I didn't know what a sales funnel was. I didn't know what it was to make a lead magnet, how to what is it called, the email automation stuff like that. I didn't know all that stuff, but the challenge broke all of that stuff down for me, and it made it make sense. Everything made sense, and that's why what I really loved about it.
Well, you don't pay for any training, but then decided to go on and, really invest in yourself here, enroll in our blueprints, learn the skills, and put some skin in the game to really learn these skills. Why did you decide to become serious about this? I mean, this seems like when somebody does something like that, puts their money where their mouth is, they either are serious about a part-time gig or serious about a full-time career change. Is that what
Absolutely.
you were looking for?
Definitely. So I didn't tell this last time I was on a wake up show, but I actually I started this back in May of 2022. The reason I stopped was because the blueprints was offered and I was not in the right mindset. Like I said, if I can do it for free, you got me to the point of, at the time it was $7. You got me to the point of $7. I was willing to spend that. But when it came to spending the money for the blueprints, I was like, you know what, I'm out of here. So 6 months later, I see people that originally came in when I came in, and they were having success. They took the blueprints, they invested in themselves, and they were having a lot of stream success. And I was still struggling and just kind of watching on the sidelines here. And I was obviously still in my situation, so nothing was getting better. And I was like, you know what? And I have a different mindset when it comes to investing now. But I was just like, there's never going to be a point in my time where I'm not going to have there's going to be the perfect time, perfect moment, or for anything here. And if I'm serious about changing my situation, because I can't tell you how many things I tried in the past where I promised my wife, hey, this is going to be the thing to get us out of this situation. This is going to be it right here. And now up until that point, I was just getting eye rolls, and because she's lost the faith there. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna do something different and actually invest in myself and actually commit to the process. And I remember this like it was yesterday, because it was before I turned 30. And I asked myself a question: what would my life be like if I actually committed to something for once and actually stuck it out? And so that's what I did. That was a huge pivotal moment in my life, Dave. A huge pivotal moment. Because up at that point, I done network marketing, MLMs, and everything you could think of. I never stuck with it because it wasn't get rich quick. And so I was sick and tired of failing on everything I did. So I asked myself that question right before I turned 30. Like, what would my life look like if I just committed to something and just stuck it out? And so I made a promise to myself that day. You know what? I'm going to do this. Invested in the blueprints, and I just never looked back.
Man, you just said a whole mouthful. You just really right here early on dropped the bomb of truth and the secret to success.
It really is.
Which is having that. And here's the truth. People are successful. All those MLMs that you joined, all those things that you did, I did them too.
Right.
There were people that were successful in those ventures.
Right.
It wasn't like everybody, just like there's people who are successful, there's a percentage of people who are successful in all ventures. It really does boil down to me having that conversation with myself in the same way that you did, which is, look, I can either have results or excuses, but I can't have both.
Right.
And this is going to take, if I want to get something I've never had, I need to do something I've never done.
Absolutely.
And so what did that look like for you, man? I mean, if you could bring us into if you could describe it to the best of your ability, what did you do? How did you change in order to get something that you never had? And you've got something, I would assume, that you've never had at this point. You've got a real business. You've got a multiple six figures of people who are following you on social media. You're kicking butt and taking names. What did that change look like when you had that conversation with yourself? First of all, any more insight that you can give about what that conversation looked like or how that went down? And then what did you do after that in order to begin to make that conversation a reality?
Well, I became a student of this industry, basically. So at that time, I made that commitment, but at the time, I wasn't in a position to get the blueprint. So I was like, you know what? Either I could just sit here and boohoo about it, or I could just take what I learned from the challenge and just get started. And this is why I tell a lot of people, like, you know what? If you can't get it right now, get it later down the road and just start. Fail forward. Okay, that's what I did. I was failing forward, and then whenever we came to a position to where we could get them, I got into the blueprints, and that's when things just took off. But I just wanted to get started. I wanted to get my hands dirty. I wanted to get that first negative comment. I wanted to get that first video out. I just wanted to just, get smacked around a little bit, just get into this industry and see what it's really about. And so whenever I got that extra training, things just kind of it soared because I was already battle tested by then. And then this was all about learning the real strategies behind it and taking it to a whole different level.
Had you not really put yourself out there in previous ventures? Would that be fair or accurate to say?
I would say so. So yeah, I mean, I would post like photos like anybody would on like Instagram and stuff, Facebook, but I was making videos and let alone talking on videos. No, that was not my style.
You weren't in previous ventures. One of the things that you needed to change going into this was you needed to invite those negative comments. I mean, that's an example. That's something you just said. You needed to stop being so afraid of criticism. Right. What else? What other limiting belief or fear did you need to overcome?
Strange enough, I had to believe that I deserved to be successful. I heard someone way back then say that some people are afraid of success. I didn't really understand what that meant until it was, while I was in the middle of this journey here, and I was almost afraid that like when things were happening for me, I just almost felt like I didn't deserve it. But I was putting the work in. I was following the things in the training, and I was putting the hard work in. And I don't know why I just had this self-talk that, I didn't deserve it, but I don't know. It was hard to put. I just had to be like, Jeremiah, you deserve this here. You wanted a better life for your family. You're putting the work in. You deserve this here. Just because somebody else put the work in or did not put the work in and they didn't have success with it, that's on them there. You decided to make a commitment to yourself, so you're now reaping the fruits of your labor, so you deserve this here.
I wonder what that sounds like and looks like for other people too. I think more of us suffer from that than we realize. Not feeling deserving or even being afraid to own that we can be successful, deserve success, or even are successful. I wonder if that looks like for some of you comes in the form of comparing yourself to other people and saying, why even bother? Or if that comes in the form, because sometimes these limiting beliefs, these fears, the devil, whatever you want to call it, right? They whisper to us sometimes in our own voice where it's not so obvious. It comes across sometimes camouflaged. It comes across to where we don't even realize that we're doing it. How long do you think you had been maybe subconsciously telling yourself that you didn't deserve success? Or did you have like this realization as you were kind of getting ready that this was even a real thing for you? And you were like, whoa, I gotta, you know what I mean? Did you like have that moment where you were like, holy crap, like I don't even think that I deserve this. Like I need to, I didn't even realize this was a ball and chain that was holding me down.
Right. So it was one of those things where you're working, like you don't really think anything's gonna happen because, like I said, I've had a lot of failures in the past. So I was working with the mindset of, well, maybe it's gonna happen, maybe it doesn't happen, but either way, I'm here, So, and then when it actually happens, you're like, oh, did that just happen? Did I just make a sale? Why did they just buy from me? Like they had so many other people they could buy from. Did they just buy from me? Did they click the wrong link? Like what just happened here? So just so many things, just like so surprised. So I don't know. I just had to get out of my own head and just like, you know what? Listen, you put the work in, you deserve this. Enjoy that.
Right. And then once you do, I remember when I was a part of a community, I was selling training to network marketers, MLMers, because I was a failed MLMer who was chasing friends and family offline, putting magnets on my car, handing out business cards. Oh my gosh. I got stories upon stories. I won't go into those right now for the sake of just, keeping this about you. But yeah, I've got stories. And so I showed up on the leads leaderboard one day of this community. They had a leaderboard where they were, tracking leads. I hadn't even made a sale. And I mean, when I saw my name up on that screen, I mean, I was running around my house going, "Who's the wild man now?" I thought I had, but then it was like, you're right. There's that reality of, okay, what do I do now? How do I actually, now I have to transition from, I have a choice. I can still kind of be this kind of scared, kind of, timid, not really going to own this role of a successful content creator and trainer.
Right.
Or I can step in and act as if, because there's an element of acting as if at the beginning that I'm somebody who you should listen to, even though I don't even know that I believe that yet.
Oh, you're right about that.
Did you experience that too? And what was that process of stepping into that role of a leader? And that's what our new challenge is titled: Learn, Launch, Lead. But there's that element, there's that phase where you don't really quite yet feel like you're talking about, like you are a leader or somebody who people should listen to, but your audience is telling you, I'm opting in. You might even get a sale. I'm buying from you. We view you bigger than you view yourself. So start acting like it, right?
That is the best way to put it, because if you look at some of my earlier videos, like when I was talking, you can see the stuttering a little bit, the timid, like if you should do this, you should do that, you'll get results, like just kind of timid to it. And I'm getting people, like my followers are just increasing, and they're opting in, they're buying, like they're like, dude, tell us how can I do what you're doing?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I don't know how to do this. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing. Like right, I just forget all of a sudden how I got here, right? But I forgot. I think it was there was another marketer that was on the Wake Up Show last year, but I think she said something like, "Don't let them see you sweat," right? So I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna own this camera, and I'm just gonna get on here, and I'm just gonna do my thing.
And isn't the "don't let them see you sweat" thing, isn't that kind of, I mean, that's just not about this, man. I mean, if you go into a brand new job, what's the advice that your friends or wife or parents give you? It's like, you got this, you can do this, act like it, act like you belong here, act like you deserve this, right? That's what your loved ones tell you.
Right.
But now you're an adult, and you don't have mommy or daddy there to maybe give you that kind of pat on the back. And maybe your wife, you've done so many things that your wife's kind of like, not even going to say crap. She's not even going to say nothing. Right. So you actually have to, you all listening have to grow yourselves up and parent yourself in a way and give yourself that. We got to stop waiting for somebody else to come along and give us permission to step into a role of leadership. What comes up for you when I say that?
So for me, I automatically think about my kids, right? Because, I became a father, 3 years ago, I had my first child, and as he got older, became a toddler, some situations would happen, and I'm over here looking for the adult in the situation. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I'm the adult here.
Right.
So it's just like my child looks up to me as a leader in the home, and sometimes I don't know. It's not that I'll forget I'm my dad. Obviously, I just sometimes it's just,
I get it.
Getting out of that mindset that I am a leader now. I have a wife. I am head of my household. I am, my family looks up to me. So same thing with my business. All those followers, they look up to me to help them get to where they need to be at. So
yeah, man. Well said, bro. Such honesty and vulnerability in that analogy, and I love that. I can totally relate. It's like, thankfully my parents are still around, but my kids look to me, man.
Right.
They look to me. I'm dad. They run to me when they have a boo-boo, or they're scared, or they need to know how to do something, or they need help with something. And I've had that same reality check My kids are a bit older now, so I think that's definitely something we all go through in those first couple of years. But man, we also got to go through that with our business. Our business is like a baby. And it's like, okay, I'm the parent of this baby.
Right.
I can either raise it to be you know, my baby can either be a failure, right?
Right.
And look, is any, I mean, going back to real humans, if there is no bad children, there is no children that are failures. Parents can fail a child,
Absolutely.
but there's no children that are bad or failures.
Right.
Maybe they have people that fail them or teach them bad behavior, but children are sponges when they first.
Product of their environment.
They're a product in their environment.
They're just watching you, and if you say some words out of your mouth and they copy it, I mean, it's not their fault. They saw you do it.
That's right. That's right.
You're their idol in a sense. So,
absolutely. You're their God.
Exactly.
You're their idol. Yeah. And our business looks to us in the same way. And even simpler, our business doesn't even have a brain or feelings. For every action, there's a reaction.
Right.
And, there's that picture, that meme picture of like the stick figure person, like poking something with a stick, like do something.
Right.
I think a lot of us kind of, as you were talking about earlier, alluded to like that expectation of like, something's just going to happen. I'm just going to get rich if I buy, right? If I buy a training, I'm entitled to success. Right. And the reality of the real world is that couldn't be further from the truth.
Absolutely. I can't tell you how many conversations that I have with people, like in my messages, like, okay, so once I buy this, how much can I expect to make next month? I said, the only thing I can guarantee you to make next month is zero, because I don't know your work ethic. I don't even know if you're gonna take this seriously. I mean, I don't know if this is something that you even want to do. I think you're looking at you're looking at my results as of what my hard work has brought in, but this is not guaranteed for you to make. This is a possibility and a potentiality, but the only thing I can guarantee you to make is zero. Now, they don't like hearing that, but I'm being truthful, right? So I'm just like, listen, if you don't put the work in, then you're not going to see any results. But much like anything you do in life, if you put the hard work in, you're going to see results. In your job, if you work hard, you're going to get that promotion. If you go out and plant a garden or something and tend to it every single day, you're going to grow something. So that's why I tell them, like, listen, I can't guarantee that you're going to make even a dime on here, but listen, much like anything you do, if you put hard work into it, you're going to reap what you sow. So.
And you're not entitled to keep a job just because you signed up for it, just because you filled out an application, just because you got hired. Mm-hmm. You're not entitled to that job for any period of time if you don't do the work, if you don't show up. I mean, I often ask this to people at live masterminds because it's always fun to kind of ask people questions in person to kind of see, you can kind of gauge somebody's self-honesty in the moment by how they answer a question. I say, would you hire you? Would you pay you 50, 75 grand per year to do the job? Would you pay somebody else if they put out your work inside of your business right now? Would you hire them and would you pay them if they did what you do? And I'd say, raise your hand if that's true for you. Not a lot of hands go up because, thankfully in that moment, we're having a moment of vulnerability and self-honesty, and people can kind of say, yeah, like if I look at it like that, then no, I wouldn't pay somebody to do what I've been doing. Right. And oftentimes we have an opportunity to be able to kind of say, well, what's going on here? Are you expecting that when you start a business, the business is just going to run itself? Do you think people should just come in and work for you for free? Are you waiting for people to show up and save you? Do you not realize that at the beginning of any business, even if it's a hot dog stand, the business owner usually puts in the sweat equity at the beginning until they begin to hire other people and scale it through, systems and people. That's what every business is like, unless you're buying a franchise and or you're buying an existing business that has employees already installed in the business who plan on staying, but you're not going to buy that business for no $7 or no $2,500, friends. We're talking seven figures for a legitimate franchise. And oh, by the way, did you realize that you're not buying a business here? You're just enrolling in a course to learn skills. This is not a business. This is an education program. And you're not even in business in the government's eyes until you actually form a corporation and get a tax ID number for that business.
Right.
This is really about learning entrepreneurship, and that alone is oftentimes a big learning curve for people. Let's transition a little bit to your kind of implementation in leadership phase. You've launched now, you've learned, you've launched, you're stepping into this leadership role within your business.
Right.
You're getting an audience, you're building an audience. You're now at, over 250,000 people following you on social media, but you have a philosophy, and we titled this episode Serving Over Selling. What does that kind of mean to you? What is prioritizing serving over selling to grow your audience online? That sounds interesting, but what does that mean in practice to you?
So not treating your client like a transaction, okay? And early on in my journey, I was treating my people like a transaction, like, oh, I got to sell. Oh, how can I get the next one? Right. But I forgot about this person over here who trusted me based on what I was saying in my videos and stuff. And they bought a product from me. Now they need a little bit of help, but I'm already focused on the next, how do I get my next sell? Right. So I quickly learned that doing stuff like that, number one, it's bad for your brand because people, you'll get comments saying this guy doesn't really help you. He's just, they can smell that stuff. So for me, it was making sure that the people that buy from me get the result they're looking for, whether that means either learning a new skill or making their first dollar online or getting their first follower online, whatever it is that they want to accomplish. That's why you have to have the conversations, helping them achieve that goal.
Yeah. I think the internet makes it real easy for us to get into a mode of, just treating humans like transactions. We don't, we're analyzing analytics. We're looking at dashboards, waiting for commissions. We're seeing email addresses get added to our list. And we dehumanize the business when marketing is all about people. It's all about the psychology of people, how they think, how they feel, how our videos, how our, TV commercials, radio ads, podcasts, this show, everything, how it makes somebody feel when they listen to it. Does it give them an ick? Does it make them feel kind of slimy listening to it? Does it make them feel like a piece of meat interacting with you? Maybe not, maybe not the piece of meat in how we often describe it, but a piece of money meat, right? Like you're just a dollar, you're just, a commission. How did your marketing content evolve? How did your interactions with your audience evolve as you started to realize that?
Well, I started to go live a lot more. And if you're not going live, I highly recommend you go live because it really brings yourself to life. I don't know if you noticed, but with this new AI stuff coming out, literally I saw a picture of who was it? Maybe Shaquille O'Neal, and basically it looked like a legit video, but it was a fake AI video. The film saying some random stuff and whatnot. So when people see that the way our world is changing, they don't know what is real and what is not real. So that's why I always highly recommend go live so that you can bring yourself to life so they can say, hey, okay, this is a real guy. This guy genuinely cares about, helping people, make money online or whatever niche you're in. I mean, like helping you get to your goals and stuff. And so I started going live more. I started really trying to hone in on educating people about this industry through more talking videos instead of just the 5 to 6 second videos, which they come in handy obviously, but sometimes you just need to pop on there and be like, hey, this is what's up. So
Yeah, a combination of different types of content can be
right.
useful and can be effective. I think that the you know the there's a gift and a curse of this short form video revolution that we're in right now. The gift is that, yeah, you can post a video where you're not talking in it and it just has text on screen and some audio and just some b-roll of you doing something. You can even go faceless and find some b-roll of somebody else or some stock free image. We talk about that, have started talking about that a lot more over the last few months. But yeah, if people never hear your voice, if they never have a human to connect with, then it's going to be difficult for them to fall in love with the brand.
Right.
And that's why businesses with leaders that people can put a face to a brand do better, proven over time. A brand with a charismatic CEO or somebody who they can connect with or like. It doesn't even mean that they have to relate to their story and all this.
Right.
They just like them. Hey, I like Elon Musk. Hey, I like, Steve Jobs when he was around. Hey, I like, such and such. Even in the banking industry, there's the CEO of Chase, Jamie Dimon, is somebody who's very popular and a lot of people like him and trust him in the banking industry because of kind of the way that he'll get out on media and do interviews and talk to people. You look at Warren Buffett, one of the things that really bonded him with his shareholders was and got people to want to invest in Berkshire Hathaway was the fact that he would also do interviews, and then he would also do a week-long shareholders meeting actually in somewhat near you, I think, right? Omaha, Nebraska. You're in Tulsa? Wait, Oklahoma. Okay, sorry.
About 6 hours.
Anyways, huh?
About 6 hours away. My dad actually lives there, so
Okay, yeah. So that's kind of, he's the Oracle of Omaha. He's a big deal out there. He still lives in Omaha, and people will fly out from all over the world to come. He literally fill up a stadium of people, and he'll just sit there, no flash and trash. It was always him and Charlie Munger. Charlie Munger just passed away. They're both in their late 90s. Charlie passed away at nearly 100. I think Warren's 95, 96, 97. Anyways, they sit there right at a table in the front of the room and just answer questions and shoot very straight. No BS, no flash and trash,
right.
No big convention nonsense. Just sitting there talking with their shareholders, the people who are giving them money and investing in the company for them to go take that money and buy other companies. That's what Berkshire Hathaway does. It's a holding company. They own 20-something% of American Express. They own 10% of Coke. They own, Geico Insurance, the majority of Geico Insurance. These people are giving these two guys their entire life savings. And why do they do that? Well, they really trust these guys because they're real. They have fallen in love with the men themselves. And that's exactly kind of what we're doing here online as well, right?
I mean, they fall in love with your content. I can't tell you how many messages I get. Like, bro, we love your energy, love your content and stuff. And then you see all that energy there. Pop on, get on live, and do like a Q&A session. Like, if you really want to increase your sales, do a live Q&A, and you just sit there and just let them they'll tell you what they need or what kind of questions they have, and you just rattle off, answer. And they're not even hard questions and stuff. You already know the answers. That's the cool thing about it. It's nothing difficult. Now, if you do a difficult question, just be honest enough to say, hey, I don't know, but I'll figure it out. We'll come back and talk about it.
But Jeremiah, what if I don't have really any followers or a big audience? I mean, I what if I just end up going live and just sit there and nobody comes on? What do I do?
So practice makes perfect. The first time I went live, I think I had one person show up, and I'm pretty sure that was like a bot or something. But you know what? I'm like, you know what? I'm here, and I'm gonna talk to this camera, and I'm gonna say some words. I'm gonna. I think it was like 15 minutes I was on there, but I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna get better until I get this right. Okay. I get it. You know, if you don't have a following, it's kind of like, why am I doing this? You're doing this because I would rather be prepared and not have a following than have a following and not be prepared. So there it is.
Hello. Hey, you know what I've got experience doing this. Back when I started, we didn't have go live feature on social back in my day. You know, we didn't have go live feature on social media. We had webinars. We all used GoToWebinar. And I remember my first webinar, man, I did it. Nobody showed up. I still presented the whole damn thing because I had too much pride to let my family know that I was, that nobody showed up. So I got an hour's worth of practice presenting the whole thing. And somebody did end up showing up like halfway through. And guess what? I was talking as if the whole thing was, as if I had a full house.
There you go.
When somebody shows up, you want to already be talking. You want the party to be happening. It'd be like you having a party and nobody showing up, and then all of a sudden the first person gets there, and you're like sitting by the door like, oh, thank God, you're here. No, you want the music going, man.
Right.
You want to be, you want things to be happening as people are showing up. So I would suggest as well, on top of your advice, to prepare 4 or 5 questions. And when you go live for the first few times, you may do a Q&A. Nobody's going to know what to ask. Nobody's going to have a question. Nobody's going to submit. Anticipate that. Know that people are not going to do that. Know that, and prepare a few questions and say, hey, I'm going to answer a few of the most popular questions, right? And so here's the first question. People often ask, what is XYZ? And so, boom, you go and you answer that. So does that make sense, everybody? Drop a 1 if that makes sense. Tell me if you have any thoughts, you want to follow up question or anything. I'm going to move on to number 2. The number 2 question, and you don't even have to say the number 2 question that I get. You can still, look, I got people saying 1 right now in the comments. Hello. I mean, I'm just giving an example, right? But you got ones that are popping up here. And now all of a sudden, the more 1s you get, now that's a great way to get comments going. Hey, as you're jumping, if you're ready to hear the number 2 question, if this is valuable, drop a number 2 in the comments, everybody. Drop a number 2 for me right now. Let's role play right now. I'm doing it. This is a way to get comments going. Right?
Your live is getting pushed out too. So when people pop in, like, hey, what's going on in here? They stick around a little bit, and your audience continues to grow and grow. So that's what I love about it.
And if they see you answering questions that you came with, right? Now, you're not saying, you don't have to say, well, hey, I knew nobody would come with a question on my first few lives, so I'm coming with the questions. No, you look, don't let them see you sweat. You just show up and you just go. So it's like, hey, moving on to number 3, the most popular question that people often ask is, what is an autoresponder, right? Number 4, most popular question that people often ask is, what is a sales funnel? Number 5 question that people often ask is, hey, what is, what if you do dog training? What is heel, right? What is sit, right? What is a collar? What is, Donkey Kong training? What is, whatever it is, whatever's your thing, you come with those questions and you just start spitting. But here's the hit, is when people see you answering questions, they're then going to ask a question.
Right.
They need to see it happening. They need to walk in the middle of the conversation, and they will play along. Or they will come next time they see you live. They will know, they will understand the assignment.
Absolutely. And they'll follow your page, and then they'll watch more of your content, and then they reach out in the DMs, and really you just close it from there. I love going live. Sometimes I go on live for my first lives. It was like maybe 15 to 20 minutes. I'm on there for almost 2 hours now, and I'm just like, we just have a blast on there. Just teaching, answering questions. It's really fun. I love it.
Well, you know that I believe in going live because we're live, and I'm so, at this point, so comfortable going live. It doesn't matter if I'm talking to somebody for the very first time. I just go live, just like you saw backstage before we went live. I don't get on and do a bunch of prepping or scripting or telling people what I'm going to say or they're going to say or here's how to act. I say, let's do it. Let's go. Let's keep it real. Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun in front of people. Let's like really like let's feed off each other's energy. I mean, you realize that this can be fun and doesn't have to be a big scary thing, right?
Absolutely. Like I said, my kids have busted in my lives plenty of times. Dogs were barking in the background, and some act of God is happening where my life just gets disturbed. I'm just like, guys, this is just part of the entrepreneur. Things happen. Okay, you just roll with it. Keep moving.
And that's one of the biggest content and video creation secrets, if you will, that I've learned over the years is if you stutter, keep talking. Mm-hmm. If something's happening in the back, keep talking.
Right.
Don't even act. Don't even let it disturb you. Don't even let them see you sweat. I see so many people who, when they're live or on video, something will be happening and they'll start getting nervous. Well, the energy that you project, your audience is going to feel, and they're going to start. I don't think people realize that they're the ones who make it awkward.
I agree. And they're here to see you, first of all. Like they waited, they follow you, they want to see you. So you have like all the leverage, and if anything, at least that's the way I have to look at it as. If I'm not here, then they're missing out on me. They're here to see me. So if something happens where I gotta, hey, 1 second, my child is being crazy. So, handle that, pop back on, keep moving. So, and they usually just laugh and they're like, cool, like hashtag parenthood. I mean, whatever. They're cool with it.
They are. They enjoy that. We like that. We as a society have fallen in love with reality TV. We've proven that. We've proven that we want that we like that. That became super evident with like Jersey Shore, remember, on MTV, and then like Big Brother and Survivor, and now there's all these Naked and Afraid, all the way to Alone, to Love Island. I mean, it's all reality. It's all just seeing people in their humanness. And so why in God's name, if you know this and you see this and you probably watch it too, would you think that you need to be perfect?
Right. Nobody wants perfect. I mean, in fact, I get a lot of messages saying that, I'm looking for someone that's real, not has to out there flashing a Lamborghini or flashing their mansion. They want someone that maybe has a stain on their shirt that's outside, that just I came back in all sweaty. No, obviously not. You know what I mean? It's just they want consistency. So, they're like, what? They appreciate my authenticity. I can't say the word right now. See what I'm choking on live right now. They appreciate you being authentic and just being who you are.
Yeah. Yeah, it's relatable, and people feel safer when they know that they can also be human around you.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why it's one of the reasons why I go live right here every day. There's no flash and trash in the background. It's just me, man. It's just me right here on my side. And I try to keep it that way because, I want the focus to be on the content. I want the focus to be on what we're talking about, not all the distractions of, sitting. I mean, I'm here on the water. I could, I got a nice, decent car in the garage. I could be sitting in front of all that, doing all that flash and trash, but it's not important. It's not even what this is about. People will buy more from you and follow more from you if they're impressed by your heart and your brain more than your materialistic stuff. Right. They will truly respect you rather than just be enamored with you. Right. And potentially even, sometimes silently resentful or jealous. You don't want that in your audience. You want them to be You want them to feel safe. You want them to feel like you're approachable. And that's the thing that's going to get people to reach out to you in your DMs or sign up and potentially interact with you, is that they actually feel comfortable with being in your presence or being around you or interacting with you somehow. And they're not afraid that they're going to have some interaction with you where you're going to make them you're going to put them down, or you're going to talk down to them or act like you're better than them. And so I think the more relatable you can be, the more messy, the better. I mean, Sarah Day Thompson, she's on, she said the messier, the better, man. She was on yesterday. I mean, there it is. What have you learned about yourself, brother, through this journey?
I got some serious grit. So in the blueprints, you have the millionaire mindset thing. And one line that you said in that I don't want to say podcast, but in that video was, I'm going to outlast everybody. Okay. You said entrepreneurship is not for everybody, but you also said that you have the mindset that you're going to outlast everybody. So I literally wrote that on a piece of paper last year, and I stuck it on a wall. And I'm like, you know what? And this was at a point where I wasn't seeing a lot of success. I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna quit, because I already made that commitment to myself earlier that, what would life look like if I just put the work in and didn't quit. But I'm going to outlast everybody. And so what I found out about myself in this journey is that through those days where I wasn't getting leads, where I wasn't getting sales, where I wasn't reaching my goals, I was a fighter. I was continuing to fight, continuing to learn. If something wasn't working, I would ask questions. I would dive back into the training. And this is grit that I found in myself that I haven't had since I was playing football back in my football days, because I was a crazy trainer. I would train, learn. So, but I seem to have lost that. But I rediscovered that with digital marketing. So
I love that answer, man. I really, really, really love that. You tapped back into, in a way, your inner child or your inner teenager, right? I had that same thing with baseball. I was a gritty ball player, man. I was a hard worker. I was a practicer. I can really, really relate to that. And I wonder how many of you can. What were you like when you were a kid? I mean, did you get obsessed about things and get passionate about them and work really hard or practice really hard? What a great example. And then to rediscover that here through this process. I think entrepreneurship gives us the freedom, in the space to be able to kind of discover that or rediscover that, because quite often in traditional jobs, you really do need to be a certain person, not yourself, right? Like you gotta really fit into the box. You can't show too much of your personality, or like in entrepreneurship, man, we have the freedom to be ourselves and to let out our silliness, our playfulness, to discover our work ethic, to discover our grit. I love that word. Tanya said it takes grit, don't quit. Man, I'm glad that audio resonated with you as well, man. Hey, it's been a pleasure, brother. It's been a real pleasure here catching up with you and having you here on the show. And I'd love to have you back here in the near future.
Most definitely. I enjoyed it.
All right, my man. I'll talk to you soon. Stay legendary, brother.
All right. You guys stay blessed.
All right. Take care, Jeremiah. All right, my friends. Wow, what an awesome episode to end the week. You can find Jeremiah over on Instagram at makemoneywith_Jeremiah, spelled JEREMIAH, makemoneywith_Jeremiah. What a powerful episode, man. Wow, I loved the answer to that last question of rediscovering how gritty he was, tapping back into childhood practice tendencies at football. And I just know that so many of you have that same inner grit. I always say that you already have inside of you what you need to be successful. You don't need me, any guru, anything to complete you. what we hope this community and environment is for you is a environment where you can reach inside and discover who you are and what you're made out of. And we can give you the tools, the metaphorical shovel to go digging, to find that inner gold, that inner badass, that inner legend, right? That you can find that and you can rediscover who you are, like Jeremiah explained this morning, rediscovering who he is, who he really is, right? Powerful, powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. What an amazing way to end the week. My friends, find Jeremiah over at makemoneywith_Jeremiah. If you guys want to get started with any of our training that we discussed here and that we have here available to you, you can go to legendarymarketer.com/enroll, legendarymarketer.com/enroll. We've also talked about the accountability program that we've opened up recently that's helping a lot of our clients. And you can get a free accountability coaching call where we will get on with you. Many of you have met or heard Bonnie or Eric will get on with you and give you a free session, help you to understand and discover what you need to do in order to stay accountable to yourself if you want to do it on your own, or we'll tell you about our accountability program and you can decide whether that's right for you. It's a 6-month program where we're going to help you hold and stay accountable to your plan and push you on a daily and weekly basis to implement what you've learned and ensure that you learn, launch, and become the leader, similar to what we talked about today with Jeremiah. So just send me an email. You can say anything in the email: accountability, coaching call, free accountability call. Send that email to Dave@legendarymarketer.com. That's Dave, D-A-V-E, Dave@legendarymarketer.com. And I'll respond and CC in an accountability coach here on our team to set that up with you and jump on the phone or Zoom and try to get you headed in the right direction, my friend. You are capable. You can do it. And you may need somebody to help you go inside to discover what you're made out of and then hold you accountable to implement the plan. That's normal. A lot of people need that. It's okay. There's no shame in that, whatever it takes to get the job done. So send that email to me at dave@legendarymarketer.com with accountability call in the subject line if that sounds like something you need or want. And my friends, with that being said, we'll see you back here on Monday, as always, for another episode of Wake Up Legendary. Have a great Friday, an amazing weekend. Be legendary. Get out of here, my friends. Peace.